Hey everyone, head coach Ben Olsen. Another day, another game. Ben off to the West Coast again to face San Jose this time. How's the team prepared this week ahead of that match?
Well, we really dug into San Jose today and tomorrow, and they're a very good team, well coached. Uh, can score a ton of goals. They get to dangerous opportunities very quickly. Attacking talent all over the place, and they've also given up a lot of goals. So, it's a really interesting team, and it's been fun kind of preparing for them and seeing what we have to offer. It's a lot of games, and thing we preach that every team's preaching right now is you're going to need everybody to get through these stretches, and everybody's heavy and uh, mixing up lineups and just about finding ways uh, to 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 win games or to get results through this busy stretch, in particular the teams that are in the Open Cup.
Thanks. That will start with Sergio.
Yeah, Coach. Thank you for having
Hmm.
us. Busy schedule, a lot of away games. How is the team processing that, and you as well?
We're processing it the same way everybody else is. The one good thing is everybody's essentially in the same boat, where there's a lot of games in a month, and I always continue to say if you do this right, you're able to pick up some points and kind of chug along and try to move up the table, uh, while having a bunch of players feel engaged in it, because you just have to you have to rely on a lot of players, and that can be a really healthy thing. When you're week to week, it's hard to play 20 players, but when you have this many games coming at you, you're forced to rely on your depth. And I think again, if that goes in the right way and you can pick up some results while doing that, there's a real group effort mentality, and everyone feels a part of the process. So that's the ideal month. And so far, I think we've done a pretty good job of that, in particular in the league. And picking up our first road win helps with belief in going away. But we're under no illusions. This is a very good team, and the standings would say so.
Good. All right, we'll go to Dustin. Go ahead.
Hey Ben.
It does.
Hey, I believe your first pro coach, Bruce Arena, back in the league. Get to face him this weekend. What is it like seeing Bruce back in the league and getting to go against him this weekend?
Well, first and foremost, I'm just so happy he's back in the league. His team having some success and him rebooting the franchise doesn't surprise me one bit. It's just what he does, and getting the most out of his best players, and also squeezing everybody else to be playing at a really high level. So he's a big figure in my life and someone who's been very influential. And I'm certainly not here today without him always giving me the benefit of the doubt and a nudge. So again, so much respect for him, and just happy that he's back in the league. I think the league's better for having him in it always.
And you talked about it a little bit, but San Jose, most goals in the Western Conference. What makes their offense so dynamic? I know you've seen Iran go so many times, but just what makes them so dangerous?
Well, some of it is they just have killers. They just have guys that when they get their chances, they stick the knife in. And sorry to get so graphic, but it's just what they do. And I think Espinosa is one of the best players in this league, as far as wingers and mentality and how well rounded he is as a player. He's special, and so he can create. He can he can hit the net himself. Works very hard. His service is top notch. So some of the individuals, the boy on the left is really has come a long way, and he's been a real handful, and they're diligent all across the central midfield and back line. So it's a good team. They're pretty clear on what they're doing. It doesn't make it, you can understand it, but it doesn't make it easy when you have high level attackers that and they try to arrive to a goal as quick as possible. So, but looking forward to it. Looking forward to the match.
Thanks, Ben.
All right, Jesus, go ahead. Got it.
Unfortunately, you guys left the U.S. Open Cup. Is there someone in the back of the mind where, yes, it sucks that you guys are out of it, but at least now you guys can fully focus on MLS this season?
Well, we licked our wounds after the game. It's losing is never easy in our business, and certainly losing to Austin doesn't feel great. But the next morning, we have no choice but to turn the page and focus on San Jose. So that was kind of the message afterwards. We played very well in Austin and created a ton of chances and good looks. Some moments let us down, and we just got to learn from those and continue to keep growing defensively. I think the offensive stuff on the day, as far as how we built the game and created the opportunities, was very good. I just thought defensively we had a couple moments to let us down, and the referee let us down, frankly. Again, it was the wrong call, and I think they'll probably come. But that's what it is. So yes, easy to turn the page, but certainly not fun to lose to Austin.
If you have already talked about Jack goes on to play with team, what kind of opportunities does it present from some other players that perhaps may have gotten a lot of pain right now, being able to fill that position that Jack played?
You talking about the Gold Cup? Natal?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd like to have Jack, but what a great opportunity for him, and I think he's shown, that he belongs in that group, and hopefully he has success, because we would love to have a player at the World Cup. I think it's something that we would have a lot of pride in, that we're having someone from the Dynamo be engaged in that. And this is the first step, and he knows that, and he's excited for it, I'm sure. As far as people stepping up, yeah, it's no different than any other player in any other moment, and we've had to do that plenty this season, and sometimes that helps you when guys like Jack do leave, because you have guys with real minutes. Dwayne Holmes is coming back, who can maybe help out in that position. Lawrence Anali's, around he's very, very close as well. So we should have some new options, and it's just an opportunity for others.
That's a wicked left foot. Thinking back to your playing days, is there somebody that you can kind of think about that kind of had that kind of wicked left foot, kind of like Jack does, that you can kind of see, I see some bit of similarities from your playing days?
Well, every now and then I see some glimpses of, again, this is almost blasphemy, but with Marco Echeverri, I was on the receiving end of plenty of that magical left foot that he had, and it's a nice thing if you're close enough on the field to be the beneficiary of some of this, that left foot. Then it's nice, because it makes you as a guy trying to get in behind, and understanding that the ball's going to arrive with the right weight. It also helps with set pieces, and he's been good. And moving him up higher in the field, I think, has helped him with production, and ultimately he's helped our attack.
All right, we'll go to Joey. Go ahead.
Hey, Ben. Since your time with the Dynamo, your kind of game has been about winning these close games, these 1-0s, these 2-1s. While San Jose this year is all about these big, high-scoring games, lots of goals for both teams. How do you game plan against a team with such a different style to yours?
Well, we've seen teams like this. Colorado comes to mind, and certain other teams that, again, want to get to goal direct and want to put up high numbers. Again, high numbers mean, usually that there's a higher risk to give goals up, and that's I think it was 20 26. I don't know how it's about the same of goals scored, and it was a lot of goals, but they've also given up a lot. So I think they'll live with that. And for us, a back and forth game like that probably doesn't make so much sense. So limiting that and making sure we control the game, whether it's with the ball and without, would be the goal. But again, it's very, very difficult to do that against a team that wants to get the goal very quickly. So again, controlling it with the tempo with the ball, and without it will be the probably in some ways the difference in the game if we can if we're able to do that.
And Dwayne Holmes was on the bench for the Minnesota game and didn't find himself on the bench for these last two games. Was there any sort of setback? Is he close?
No setback. The Minnesota game was really just to give him a little taste of it. He was really never going to go in, but we've been low on numbers, so that was about it. But he's close. He's close to being, he's close to being in that 20.
Thank you so much, Ben.
All right.
Sam, go ahead.
Hi, Ben.
Hi, Sam.
Yeah. I want to ask this question real quick. Going against Rosarena, one of the most decorated coach in U.S. soccer and the MLS. I mean, what are you expecting from him?
I don't make it really about what am I expecting from the coach necessarily. Right? We spend a lot of time on his team and his individuals, the individuals he's putting out there, and what this current team does and does not do, and that's where we spend most of our time. I look forward to a hug and to go to battle. That's what we, again, that's the extent of it. But again, as I said, he's a special person in my life, and I think he's a special person to the game of soccer in this country. And he's done so much for whether it was the national team or the league, whether it's even his days at University of Virginia. His talk about a pioneer and someone who's helped build this game in this country. He's one of the names that is up there for me on the Mount Rushmore of soccer. So it's been a lot of fun to be a very small part of his life and kind of be see some of that and be a part of his teams and be a part of his life.
Yeah, after the FC Dallas win, it was a back-to-back win for Houston Dynamo, and also short of against Minnesota, against FC Dallas, and now the Austin defeat in the Open Cup. Do you think the defeat in Austin will kind of dampen the momentum that this team built with that back-to-back win?
Do you think the loss in the Open Cup does what?
Yes, sir.
Halts our momentum?
The momentum.
Sam, momentum is like, I don't necessarily get as caught up in this momentum as everybody else. Like, we won 2 in a row, so now we're going to win. It just doesn't necessarily work that way. Every game has its own dynamics, and again, the Open Cup was kind of is different. You got a lot of games. It's a Wednesday. We're playing. We're resting a few players. It's just a different game. So now we have a chance to go to San Jose, and all the focus is on San Jose. It's not really. We don't look backwards too much or too concerned on our form. We just really. I know maybe it's a little cliche, but we're really focused on the next our next opponent, and then we'll put that one to bed, and then we'll take the temperature of the group, both emotionally and physically and tactically, and we'll go to battle against New York City. So that's how this month's going. There's no time to get into rhythm or like it's rapid fire games, and we're going to need everybody to be at their best if we're going to get results in the next 3 games.
I wish you all the best on Saturday, sir.
Thanks, Sam.
Wrap it up with Jorge. Go ahead, Jorge.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Coach, how have you partnered up with assistant coach Colleen to prepare for a high-scoring team like San Jose, a Chicho-less San Jose side?
How have we prepared for him?
Defensively, yes. Like how have you gotten with
Just
Coach Colleen?
that's a secret. That's a secret. It's our secret of how we're going to deal with them. Probably not going to give you too much of that, but like every game, we have a plan. You know, sometimes the plan works, sometimes it doesn't. But Colin, you mentioned Colin. Aurelian has been a huge piece for our staff. Very, very defensive focused, as you alluded to. And I think he does a great job with our back line and helps guide some of the philosophy on how we play without the ball. So he gets, he doesn't probably get enough credit at times for our defensive record over the last 2.5 years. And in particular, guys like Mikael and bringing along Femi and Pablo and his kind of mentorship with some of these individual players. He has a real passion and thirst for defending. And I do as well. But, he is he's a different breed when, as most center backs are. But it has been a joy to work with him.